right, welcome into March Chadness, episode 13. Nate, how are you?
Fantastic.
Excellent. Yeah, we did a new theme song because the other one, as great as it is, it's too long. So somehow we got Green Day, but we still cannot get Ego. So
what are we doing, Ego?
Who knows? What are we doing? That was not Green Day, so don't don't come at us, Green Day.
No lawsuits.
Exactly. So, hey, got an exciting episode. It is Super Bowl Sunday. We were not talking about the Super Bowl, though. We're going to talk a little college hoops. Very exciting because I did do a interview with Jacob Reimer earlier this past week. So we will jump to that. And then when we come back, we have an exciting bracket for Nate and I because we both love the Muppets. We do have a Muppets bracket.
They just dropped a new episode.
They dropped a new episode. We will talk about it because I believe we both have seen it.
Yes.
Yes. So without further ado, though, let's jump into the NCAA talk with 97.1 The Fans, Jacob Reimer. Back by popular demand, Jacob Reimer. Jacob, how are you today?
Chad, I'm still just trying to survive the cold. It's insane here in Ohio with how cold it has been. Like it's gone a week now without even sniffing the 30s, and I'm just begging for getting back to just freezing temperature, not this single digit stuff. It's crazy.
No, it's rough. Like we had pipes freeze several years ago, and that's the worst. So glad you were safe. Glad you could make it around all the places you needed to go. So and thank you for tuning in to March Chadness. FanStreamSports.com. We are joined by Jacob Reimer from 97.1 The Fan, the local sports show here in Central Ohio. So he's the expert when it comes to NCAA here. I think in all of Ohio. I will die on that hill. So let's start off. We had some pretty good games last week. Some interesting things. Michigan had a couple big wins. They beat Nebraska, held on at Michigan State. That was the first time I'd watched that Michigan-Nebraska game. That was the first time I saw Nebraska. Nebraska, I was kind of impressed. They play some solid D. They got a 7-footer. They just kind of offensively fell apart there at the end, and Michigan made some plays.
Yeah, that was. It's been a phenomenal week for Michigan. You went on. Yeah. You beat 2 top 10 teams in the Big Ten. Like that, you couldn't ask for a tougher week, and they grinded out 2 really impressive wins. But yeah, to Nebraska, like that game against Michigan, I think turned a lot of heads. Like there was still a lot of people that I think had some doubt in Nebraska. Like, yeah, they were 20-0, but like you can kind of look at like who they've beaten. Well, they've also beaten Michigan State, they've beaten Illinois. So like they have some really good wins. Yeah. But I think what was really impressive in that game against Michigan was they were without 2 of their top 3 scorers in Rink and Braden Frogger. And they still went in, had a monstrous first half, like they put up 50, I think it was actually 50 exactly on Michigan in the first half. And Michigan was the number 2 defense in college basketball in Ken Pom coming into the game. So going into Ann Arbor and having that kind of first half was ridiculous. But like you said, they kind of fell short towards the end of the game. And that's where the injuries and missing Rink and Braden Frogger came into it. But they've got shot makers. And if you watch the Illinois game last night, that was a perfect example of it. But same thing, they kind of, They went cold down the stretch, and Illinois turned it up. But I think they'll figure it out. That for Nebraska fans, you're not pushing the panic button yet. You're still 20-2. Like that's still pretty impressive to be at.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you flip it and they lose these 2 games early, and then they go on like an 11-12 game win streak, it's a different story. So yeah, Illinois beat Nebraska. Illinois is looking good. A couple of teams I want to talk about that were kind of maybe left for dead early in the year. Since losing back-to-back games to Duke and UConn, Florida is 11-2. Big win over Alabama. When I say big win, they smoked them, dropped 100 on them, which is good because I think I took the over in that game. It was 176.5, so I won it by the hook. So that was an impressive win against Alabama. So Florida 11-2. Let's talk about them, a team that did make the finals last year.
Mm-hmm. And one crazy thing about yesterday too was they had 72 points in the paint. Like they were having their way, and that was the biggest thing with Florida this year was they returned their entire front court from last year winning the championship. And the biggest thing was their backcourt. How would they replace Walter Clayton Jr.,
Yep.
Elijah Martin, and Will Richard? And Boogie Fland and Xavier Lee have started to come along. Like you mentioned at the top of this, they started out slow and the guard play was a little inconsistent, and now it's looking like it's starting to come along. And I called my shot with Florida because they were competing against Duke, competing against UConn, had chances to win both of those games. And I had to look at it because I couldn't remember the exact date I put it out there, but it was December 10th, and I said Florida's going to win the SEC. Like they have the pieces that can still go on, and the SEC is very gettable, and we're seeing that now. I looked at it this morning too, how Florida was last year at this point and how Florida is now. And this is on Torvik because I can actually choose the date ranges on that one. But you can't on other ones, but this one's for free. So that's why I chose that one. But at this time last year, Florida, who won the national championship, they were 12th in offensive efficiency and 9th in defensive efficiency. And right now, Florida is 19th in offensive efficiency and 8th in defensive efficiency. So their defense is a little bit better. Their offense is a little behind, but it's really come along here as of late. Like they put 100 on Alabama. Now Alabama hasn't been known for solid defense, but when you look at Florida and they're a front court led team, like their front court yesterday combined for 61 of their 100 points and 29 rebounds. Like it's probably the best front court in all college basketball, at least rotation wise, because you can put Houck down at the 4. He's transitioned to the 3, and for how versatile he is, he can kind of guard any position you need him to. Ruben Chenyulu, there was a clip yesterday where he was guarding LeBaron Philon and then got switched onto Latrell Wrightsell and was just putting the absolute clamps on them and is looking like one of the best defenders in the country. And a guy for his size, it's ridiculous. Like they've rolled off some impressive wins here, and they're looking really dangerous. The Gator boys, they're getting hot at the right time, and I don't know. Todd Golden's got a great mind. They're finding a way, and they're looking like a team that can be really dangerous come March.
Yeah, exactly. And I know I think they have one of the top 3 or top 5 toughest strength of schedule so far this year, according to KenPom too. So that it made sense early on. Had some tough games, and you have to replace a guy like Clayton Jr. and your backcourt. It's going to take a minute for them to go, but having the size and the front court that they have, they're going to be able to hang with teams like Purdue and those types of teams that have some big guys down low. Another team that always seems to be on paper, they should always be there, Final Four bound, but they have just had a history of their team and their coach just not kind of putting it together during the tournament, and that is the Kansas Jayhawks. However, 5-game win streak with wins over Iowa State and BYU, who is ranked. Talk about Kansas a little bit.
They're honestly a very weird team right now because they looked like they were dead in the water earlier in the year when Peterson went out. Darren Peterson's been ridiculous, and especially now that he's come back now. But in that BYU game, Darren Peterson got off to one of the greatest first halves I have ever seen. Like he was not missing any shots and having poster dunks out here on 2 guys, and I was like, what is this dude on? It just looks like a different level of play for him. But like then he didn't play in the second half really. Like I think he played the first 3 minutes and then something happened and Kansas thankfully still held on. But after that first half, I was like, yeah, like if Kansas is like looking like this with Darren Peterson fully healthy, if you can get him for a full 40 minutes, like this looks like a team that can get to the Final Four, maybe even win a national championship. And the job that Bill Self has been able to do with Peterson out and keep them at this level where they're still competing and giving themselves a shot, like the pieces around Peterson and I think him and Flory Badunga are one of the best guard big combos in college basketball. But the other guys around them are just dogs, like Melvin Council, Trey White. They've been awesome. Tiller was fantastic in that BYU game. Their defense has been great. For the month of January, their offense I think was 6th on Torvik. So like their offense is really dangerous, and they have athletes all over the floor. If they can get healthy, that is their biggest thing. If they can get Darren Peterson healthy, then that's a team that can definitely go on a run.
Yeah, and it's interesting because usually here in more recent years, like Big 12 was never that stout. So Kansas kind of got by on a weaker conference. But this year it's not. Arizona, Houston, Iowa State, you got BYU is ranked. So if they come out, they're going to have a gauntlet to try to get through. So they are a team to watch, especially depending where they are seated, which we'll dive into. Joe Lunardi came out. I think he's had it out. I just really checked it this week for last week's show. So I want to talk about some of the seedings and then some conferences before we round it out here. So the top 4 seeds, it's Arizona, Duke, UConn, Michigan. That I think, depending any kind of catastrophe on those teams, those are probably the top 4 teams in the country. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think Arizona has a gauntlet coming up. I don't know if you've seen their schedule. I think that they're still going to be fine, but they don't play till Saturday. They play home against Oklahoma State. But then from Monday, February 9th to March 2nd, they play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ranked teams.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, they got at Kansas, Texas, BYU, at Houston.
Yeah.
And then Kansas, Iowa State there at the end. Like that, yeah, that's going to be we'll see. That's going to be a true test. I don't think they will.
So, like, of those, I think Duke's going to be fine just because of where the ACC is at.
Yeah.
Like, they might get got by Carolina, but still, they're going to, like, that may be the only one. I don't know if I think they still have to play Virginia, but I think it's at home. They play Clemson. They play Michigan here in February, which is that weird, like, one-off conference game that some schools are doing here in February. But, like, still, like, they're 20-1. I think at most they'll probably finish with 3 losses here.
Yeah.
So, like, I think they're going to be fine. Michigan, they'll continue to run the table. Like, the Big Ten is wide open.
Yeah.
Because like they play Illinois later in the year, like where Illinois, the way they're rolling, they could maybe catch them and can compete for a 1 seed. But the way Michigan's been all year, I think they'll be fine. I don't see how UConn's going to fall off the 1 line with how bad the Big East is. I think if there was one team I would want to put up there would be Houston to be able to compete with that. But I think you're probably looking at these 4 as your 4 1 seeds for sure. If anything changes, it'll probably be Arizona and Michigan that would change. But that's crazy to say the way they've been dominant all year.
Right, yeah, but Arizona's schedule coming up, if they lose 4 of those games, and someone like Illinois or Iowa State or Houston or something like that, good on a roll that could do that. So the 2 seeds I think are weird. You've got Nebraska, Michigan State, Illinois, so 3 Big Ten schools, and then Iowa State. I don't know how Michigan State and Nebraska hang in there. I can see Illinois, Iowa State staying in there. The 3 seeds are interesting, I think. The 3 and the 4. So you got Houston, Purdue, Gonzaga, Florida are the 3 seeds. I could see any of those teams moving up a rung or maybe 2, depending on what happens. So that 3 line right now looks pretty stout.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if when we get to Selection Sunday, if the projected 2 and the 3 lines from Lunardi right now are flipped. Because I think I think Houston will for sure be a 2 seed. I think the way that Gonzaga is in the WCC, I think that they'll most likely be on the 3 line. Because I think Iowa State will be fine the way they've been rolling. They're averaging 90 a game in the last 4 after they dropped the 2 to Kansas and Cincy. So I think Iowa State will be fine. Illinois, I think, will probably still be on that 2 line as well. But then, like we just talked about with Florida, like if they continue to run the table and win the SEC, you're probably going to see them on the 2 line as well.
Yeah, and Purdue. I know Purdue. I have to do a shout out like we did in the show last week. My Hoosiers beat them. That was a good game. I watched that game, and I've watched the game and a half of Indiana. I'm not impressed. It's just they just got it done. They can't really guard down low. They just happen to get it done. I'm not too impressed, and it would not surprise me because I think they were the last team in for Lunardi. But Purdue's there as well. And then the 4 seed
Indiana too, because like that was their first home game since winning the national championship in football. And I mentioned it, and I was like,
that is
an absolute scene. Your first home game where you can walk the national championship trophy out is against your rival.
Right.
Like, in the building at Assembly Hall was phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
And then they just went on the road and beat UCLA in Poly in a double
overtime. I know that was nuts. Yeah. So anytime Mick Cronin can go down, I'm happy. That
There's
goes
no
way
shot
back.
that John Wooden and Bob Knight thought that'd be a Big Ten game.
Exactly. Never, never. And the four seeds are weird, man. It's BYU, Vanderbilt. You got Kansas and Texas Tech. I think I'm a believer in BYU. Vandy, I don't know enough about them. Do you think Vandy is a top four seed kind of talent?
I think the way they've started this year, yes. I haven't looked at what's coming up for them in their schedule, but like I love Tyler Tanner, their point guard. He can really springboard them into winning some big games. And I think their biggest issue is if they go up against a team with size. Like they played Florida a few weeks ago, and that's where Florida got them at Vanderbilt because their bigs were just dominant in that game. So I like Vanderbilt. I don't think they'll get any higher than the 4. You're probably looking at a 4 or 5 for them. I like Kansas to like it's so interesting how this bracket's going to be. Like I think we're setting up for an all-time March Madness because like any of these teams, I think 1 through the 6 line, honestly, can go on a run. And like I think Kansas, if like we just mentioned, if they can get healthy, I think they could get up to the 3 line. I've been a big believer in Texas Tech. By the way, Kansas Texas Tech tonight, like that's going to be a phenomenal game in Lubbock. But like honestly, that's like this game tonight could do a lot for those 2 seeding if they want to get up to the 3 line or not.
Yeah, exactly. And let's talk about these conferences because I don't know if it's me or not, but I have it like so far. Lenardi says there's going to be 11 Big Ten teams that he has in and 10 SEC. So 21 of the, I still say 64, but technically 68 are from 2 conferences. And I'm like, can we spread the love a little bit? Because you've got Indiana, I think, has 7 losses. Wisconsin has 6. Ohio State has 7.
Yeah.
And there's another one down there that has like some of these teams are going to end up with 10 losses probably that may get in. They're all like, you got the lower ones like Ohio State, I believe, in 11. Indiana's a play-in game. And then I think Wisconsin was a 10 and maybe UCLA was a 10 or 11. So that's just like 21 teams from 2 conferences. I know these conferences are ginormous now.
Yeah.
But I would like to maybe see, I've always been like, dude, if a team is the 10th or 11th in their conference, no matter how good their conference is, like maybe give a smaller school that has won 22 games a chance.
Yeah, like I'm looking at some of his first 4 out and next 4 out. Like Santa Clara, they're 19-5. I know it's the WCC, but like that's a pretty strong record. They have some good wins. They went on the road at Xavier. I know Xavier's not that great this year, but like for a team like Santa Clara to go on a Power 5 school's home floor and win convincingly like they did, like that's pretty impressive. They only lost to St. Louis by 1, and St. Louis is a team that I think can definitely get to the second weekend. And I'm also looking here like George Mason in the A10. Like there's a lot of schools in the A10 that I think are definitely some NCAA tournament teams. Like I think VCU's awesome. Dayton, I know they just got blitzed by St. Louis, but like it's if St. Louis doesn't win the A10, then like St. Louis is a lock for the tournament, I think.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably 3 or 4 other teams in there that definitely have a strong case of getting into the tournament. And like that's what I want too, is I want to see some of these mid-major schools that like that's the thing. Like if they don't win their conference tournament, like they've been great all year. We saw it a few years ago with Indiana State and Drake. Yeah. We were looking at Indiana State as a team that was a lock for the tournament, and Drake ended up picking them off in the Missouri Valley, and Indiana State was left out. So like, I think that stinks for the mid majors.
It does, and I can't believe they didn't just for the eyes on the big dude with the specs.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's on St. Louis now. So he's at a higher level. So
so I mean, like give these guys a chance. So I want to talk about a couple of the smaller ones that do have in like the WCC we talked about. I think he's got Gonzaga, St. Mary's in, so Santa Clara's out, but they could get 3. And he's got 3 Mountain Valley teams in. So how much do you know about the Mountain Valley?
Are you looking at like there's Utah State, I think is going to be awesome. And San Diego State's definitely a tournament team too. So let me pull up their conference here.
Yeah, because it's
Utah State's been awesome. They're 18-3. San Diego State's really come along here in conference play. New Mexico 18-4. I don't know is that who he had was New Mexico in there.
I
maybe.
believe so. I'd have to go pull that back up. But yeah, he had 3 in. He just had a thing on the bottom like how many were in each conference. So yeah, so it's just one of the things. Do you know? I got to ask this, and then we'll end it on here because Nate and I, when Indiana played early in the year, they played Incarnate Word, and I did not think that they were a D1 school. I thought that I had maybe played them in a church rec league.
Oh my gosh.
Many years ago, because today is the 12-year anniversary of when I tore my Achilles in a church rec league.
Oh my gosh.
And we thought, okay, they're gonna kill Incarnate Word. And Incarnate Word held on, and like they only lost by 6. And I thought, oh, they could do something. They dropped a couple 90-point games early in the year, but then they just kind of fell apart. So could you name a guy on Incarnate Word?
No, I can't.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
That would have been so impressive if you would have done that. We would have been putting up a little.
I want to get to that level. Trust me, but there's a lot. You got college football. There's only like 120 some. Like college basketball, there's 360.
So many. Yeah. So all right, we will try to get you back on before the Selection Sunday because again, as we get closer, the picture's gonna be a lot clearer on a lot of these things. So Reimer, where can everyone check you out?
Yeah, so I'm at Twitter at RhymeTime05. TikTok, I pput a lot out on there at Jacob Reimer5 as well. So yeah, check me out.
Excellent. Thank you again for your time. I always enjoy talking with you. Just the knowledge you have, and I love that because that used to be me back in the day when players used to stay at schools for so long, and I wasn't married and have kids. I loved the old, Big East battles, Big Ten and stuff like that. So it's always fun talking about this, getting more knowledgeable for our brackets coming up. So thanks again, Jacob. Hey, stick around. When we get back, I will magically be in the studio and probably in a different outfit for when my brother and I discuss the bracket of the best Muppet. Jacob, have a great week, buddy.
Hey, thanks again. Appreciate you letting me come on here. College basketball is really starting to heat up now because Super Bowl's this Sunday.
Yep.
And then it'll be the full attention until March Madness. So
exactly. All right, Jacob, take care. Muppets coming up next.
So we're magically back in the studio because I did that interview from my house. So yeah, Jacob's such a fountain of knowledge. Really talked about 2 teams that have been hot as of late, Kansas and Florida. He really does like Florida coming down the stretch. And then we talked a little bit about the Lenardi brackets, some of the teams he liked there. So that was it. There wasn't too much in college hoops this week that I really thought. I mean, there's some games.
Some upsets. I think UConn got upset, Michigan State, BYU, but other than that.
Yeah. And then Carolina Duke game was crazy. Yeah.
Another IU overtime win.
I know, like back-to-back overtime wins, I think on Saturdays or whatever it was for IU. Carolina, the only time they had the lead, I think, was there
to win the game.
At the end. Yeah, which that rivalry is one of the best in all of college and maybe even pro sports, the Duke-Carolina. It just gets nuts. So Carolina's another team to kind of look out for. They've been playing well as of late.
Absolutely.
All right, Nate, are you ready to talk brackets?
Durr.
Okay. Muppets bracket. Again, it is one of Nate and I's favorite topics. We've loved the Muppets. He's got his dopamine shirt that has the Electric Mayhem band on it. I am wearing my River Bottom Nightmare Band shirt from the Christmas one, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, which we talked about.
We can just get the 2 bands to tour together. I'll talk to my buddy John. Shout out John Lewis, the Dopamines, for hooking me up with the Dopamine shirt.
Yes.
If you like pop punk, check out the Dopamines. They're on Spotify. They're everywhere. And they are coming to town at Bogart's, opening for Teenage Bottle Rocket Friday, April 3rd. So
there you go.
Be there.
Plug in
or
for the Dopamines.
If you're not there, then we know you hate America. So
exactly, you do. So yeah, the Muppets. So let's talk about the show that they tried to reboot this probably 10 years ago. It did not go well. I did not watch that one. I think they tried to do make it more edgy, and it just didn't work because the people that really love the Muppets don't want that. We love the little jokes here and there for the adult humor, but try to make it too edgy. I think the Muppets movie that came out, Jason Segel, was great, and I think that probably put the spark back in the Muppets. I love that movie so much. And then your thoughts on the reboot that had Sabrina Carpenter as the host that came out this past week?
It was good. It was back to the basics. Give me some, stuff that's funny for the kids, some jokes that only the adults will get. And I think with the reason Jason Segel movie was so great is because it was his love letter to the Muppets. And I think with Seth Rogen taking charge of this, I think it's similar. And they had, people like Maya Rudolph and stuff in there, people that grew up loving the Muppets that want to do it justice, not just try to make money off it.
Yeah, exactly. It was good. It was back to the original roots of the original Muppet show that we grew up with. I felt it was lacking. The only thing it was lacking was like the sketches that they usually have, like the pigs in space and stuff. But if you went into it knowing this is a one-time special, hopefully to pick up, they really needed to just get people watching and get some of the nostalgia with it. And I think if it gets picked up, then they are going to end up having those sketches again. And it's going to be more like that. But I thought it was a good first episode. Nothing really got me. Like the Muppet movie, I cried probably like the Muppets about 3 times in that one. So when they came back with the opening thing with the lights coming on and then they all came out for the opening number, I cried during the Muppets when that happened. So I didn't cry there. The only thing that really got me teary-eyed, because it has not happened in a while, is when Scooter comes to the host's door, knocks on the door, is like, Mrs. Carpenter, 15 minutes to curtain, Mrs. Carpenter. And it kind of got me because that was like the opening of everyone. So we love the Muppets. The Muppets are great. So this bracket, it's going to just be from the Muppet Show Muppets. It has nothing to do with Sesame Street. It would be a whole nother bracket. Even though they're Jim Henson's, it's 2 different worlds, I think. Are you with me on
is.
that?
I agree. Yeah.
No,
But then if we bring them in, where does it end? Do we bring in the guys from Labyrinth? Are we doing Dark Crystal?
Exactly. And then how many people from Fraggle Rock is going to be in it? So
all of them. And the Dozers.
The Dozers, yeah. So let's just bring the bracket up here real quick. It's going to be a quick one. We only have 16, so I'm going to show you the bracket here right now. So we got Kermit, the number 1 overall seed, which should not surprise anybody. Kermit is the face of the Muppets. He is probably the most famous Muppet. He's going against New Zealand. We'll talk about the 16 seed here because there were probably 3 other ones I thought about putting there. We got it. The 8-9 matchup, I think, is going to be a doozy of one. Rolf, the dog, and Scooter, the stagehand. Then you've got 4-3 Animal against Bunsen Honeydew. Animal is a 4 seed. It's somewhat controversial. Some people think he should have been lower because of who the 5 and 6s are. And then the 5 seed is Beaker, Dr. Teeth. I could have flip-flopped it so we could have an Electric Mayhem band off and a scientist off, but I did not because I just felt that was the right way that should be.
Well, we can still get one of those.
We could still get one. So that's kind of why maybe I did it. So hopefully we could get one of those. And then going to the bottom half, Gonzo at the 3 against Sam the Eagle. 6 Miss Piggy, 11 Statler Waldorf. And then Suda Chef, Pepe, and right out Fozzie the 2 seed, Rizzo is the 1. Hey, I'm getting feedback on your end. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
I don't either. I don't hear anything.
Maybe. That's right. All right. It still sounds weird. Like I'm getting some sort of feedback on your end or something.
I don't hear anything.
All right. Well, hopefully it's out. Like it may be fine. It may just be something. There, that's better. Okay. Anyway, that's the bracket. So let's just talk the top bracket. Like the 16 seed, it doesn't matter. It's going against Kermit, but I went New Zealand could have been 1. I thought about Sweetums. There were a couple other people I thought. Do you have any problem with New Zealand?
No, New Zealand's a fun guy.
He is like I put him over the guy that explodes things. I think New Zealand's just more. I think people know him more, and like I don't even know the Dynamite guy's name. Plus, I have a coffee mug. There was a time when Noah, I should have brought it to pull it up. Noah was little and he got dressed up and he had like the scarf on and a hat and he had a fake mustache. He looked like New Zealand. So a friend of ours got me a coffee mug one year and has got New Zealand on one side and that picture of Noah on the other. And it says, am I a Muppet or a man? And so it's pretty great. So I'm going to put it. So Kermit's going to win though. It's like, yeah. We'll talk more about Kermit. But New Zealand's a good one. He was just kind of nutty. On that. So there's the tough one here. The Rolf Scooter one is going to be a rough one. So I like them both very much. They are both totally different characters. I think I'm leaning Rolf, but you could talk me into Scooter.
Rolf definitely adds more to the show as far as musical numbers and sketches, but Scooter is the one that's keeping this show running. Episode in, episode out. Like that poor guy's just got so much on his plate. So it depends on how you want to do it. I'm gonna go Scooter just because that guy's running the show, and but Rolf does, has more sketches as far as
he does. So we can
be persuaded.
I'll get it to a chat. There's so many people I could do it. I could text my wife. I could text Dave. I've got my three of my kids out in the lobby area. I could text them. I don't trust them on this though, because they're more newer. Like Noah would have Pepe as like a top 3 seed, I think. So Pepe is great. Don't get me wrong. He is probably my favorite.
The Pepe cameo in the newest episode was my favorite.
It was.
They just threw him into a skit last minute. He had no idea what to do.
Exactly. That's classic Pepe. So we'll skip on that one. Animal, Bunsen Honeydew. I think it's going to be Animal. Bunsen Honeydew is a solid guy. However, I think Bunsen Honeydew, is famous because people love Beaker.
Yeah, he's the straight man to Beaker. So
yeah. Honeydew is fine. Like he's a good character when they're on. I love it. And again, they work together well because I think if it was just Beaker, it would just kind of be weird. But so Honeydew has to be there with them. But I thought they were separate enough to make separate lines. And we'll get to Statler and Waldorf, why I put them on one line. But you and I, Animal, all the way.
Yeah, I do want to say the idea of putting glasses on Bunsen Honeydew, but he doesn't have any eyes is just... It's just great.
See, that's the little things like that where some people may not even realize that Honeydew did not have eyes, but he's got glasses. I mean, it's just phenomenal, and it works. Like I think it'd look weird if he had eyes for some reason, but yeah. So that's a great.
It would just look like Scooter. It would just look like Scooter.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, so that's why I was like, is this Scooter's dad? Like, what's going on? So yeah, Honeydew's great, but Animal is definitely the winner. And you got Beaker. Dr. Teeth. I think Dr. Teeth is probably one of the more underrated characters because he really doesn't get a lot of his own stuff. He's always kind of with the band, but outside of Animal, he's probably my next favorite in the band. No disrespect to Janice or Floyd, but Janice is great. Janice had a great moment. Her moment in the last show was pretty great as well, but I'm going Beaker. I think if Beaker didn't win here, we would probably end up having riots.
It is Beaker, although I think I would like to have Dr. Teeth in my band more than I would want Animal. I think Animal's probably a liability. So as far as members of the Electric Mayhem band, I don't think he would be beating Animal anyways. But
no.
Yeah.
If we were taking
as a guy, Animal's too much of a party guy, and I did my share of partying and yours. And probably 3 other people's, but I think Animal, like one night it would be enough. All the blow in the women, it's too much. Animal, It's not a sustainable lifestyle. Dr. Teeth, definitely a tighter hang, but he's not going to beat Beaker. Beaker rules.
If you're starting a band, like you want Dr. Teeth, he's got the keyboards. You could find another drummer. But Animal just seems wild. Like he would just leave in the middle of it. I think Dr. Teeth understands, hey, this is a band. We got to get gigs. We got to be on time. If you remember the original Muppet movie, Scooter was with them. He was their manager. So that's another big part.
Just rewatched that scene yesterday.
Yeah, it is great. The original Muppet movie is so good as well. Like those are my 2 favorites of them. And then the other ones just kind of all are okay. Like I'm not like Muppets Take Manhattan was just okay. Treasure Island and Christmas Carol are fine too, but like it's those two are the two the best ones. So, all right, I'm still waiting for Dave. I will send this to other people as well. We've got Gonzo, Sam the Eagle. So this one I think is pretty easy. Gonzo probably could have been a higher seed. He could have been probably a 2 seed.
Great.
But he was a 3, and we'll get to that later. But Sam the Eagle is just one of those guys where he's so boring, but he's kind of great for what he needs to be. Like they need the Sam the Eagle guy to kind of be like, this is like going on. Like what's going on here? Things are too crazy. Everything's nuts. And he does it so well. And he's just always like just the most serious person. So Sam is great. That's why he made it. But he's not being Gonzo. Gonzo is one of the best.
Indeed. Sam the Eagle does have a great look as far as Muppets go. It's a great
He really does. Yeah. And it's too, he's one of the few, like, I guess maybe not, but like there are animals throughout it, obviously, because Pepe is a prawn. You've got Miss Piggy is a pig.
Rizzo the
Kermit
rat.
the Frog, Rizzo the rat. So, but just Sam, he's so stout. But no, Gonzo's the best. These first rounds, I think, are pretty good. There's the one. Miss Piggy, Statler, and Waldorf. I want to say first, I had Statler and Waldorf as the 8-9 matchup. And then I thought, you got to kind of put them together. And then you and I talked about it. Like, we both didn't really know which one was which. And we both kind of guessed. I was wrong. I thought the guy with the mustache was Statler, but it is Waldorf. And you guessed right. So
but it was completely a guess. It wasn't
I've watched the show forever, and it's Statler and Waldorf. And I just thought it was Statler because he's first when they're sitting in the balcony. So they're together because they have to be. Like, I don't think there's ever been anywhere where Statler was not with Waldorf.
I think of them as conjoined twins, and they may be. We don't know. They may be from the waist down, really. So
they may be like the purple 2-headed monster from the Sesame Street thing, where it's like the two of them. I'm just Statler and Waldorf are phenomenal. They are almost always one of the best parts of the Muppet Show. And they're just great, and they haven't been canceled yet with the kind of society today too, which is great.
That is good to see. You know, and they are great. You need somebody going, all right, this is terrible.
Yeah. And then Miss Piggy, people think she should be higher because she is one of probably the most, like, if you're doing the Muppets as a Seinfeld cast, it would be Kermit, Fozzie, Gonzo, Miss Piggy would be the Seinfeld. So they're thinking she should be a top 4. However, my rebuttal to that and why she's a 6 seed is Miss Piggy kind of sucks.
He's super abusive. Kermit's in an abusive relationship.
She is.
I feel bad for him. She does love him, but then she just flies off the handle.
Yeah. And she's not great. She's not likable. She's really not likable. And I feel bad if you were a girl growing up watching the Muppets, you really didn't have that many female Muppet characters to kind of want to root for and stuff. It's like her and Janice were it.
Yeah.
So it's I don't like. She's just the worst. So it's Statler and Waldorf. It's Statler and Waldorf. And people say, "Well, did you match these up?" So yeah, I did. I matched it up so Miss Piggy could lose in the first round. Although
if you're on Family Feud and you had to guess Muppets, you're going to say Miss Piggy. But
Miss Piggy's going to be a top.
If you took Miss Piggy out of the show, it would still be a fun show. If you took Statler and Waldorf out, it would be less fun.
It's a different show. That's the thing. Yeah. Always use the Family Feud as a great analogy for this. Like Miss Piggy would probably be the second one. It'd probably be Kermit, Miss Piggy, and then Gonzo Fozzie would be right there. But we're talking like the best. Like you could take Miss Piggy. If Miss Piggy, that is a good point. I did not think about. You take Miss Piggy out of the Muppets, it's not really missing a beat. No, and
there's less anger. It's a less angry show.
It's Sam the Eagle would have to pick up more of the annoyance and anger. But yeah, Statler and Waldorf's going to win. They are great. It's amazing. So this is another tough one. Swedish Chef Pepe. Swedish Chef is great, but I think Swedish Chef may be a little bit overrated because he's just kind of great. And Pepe, man, Pepe's pretty amazing. I remember when Pepe first was getting brought in, he's got just enough edge, and he's almost always funny.
Always funny. Yeah, Swedish Chef is a one-trick pony. It's really fun to talk like I'm working, work, but you don't know what he's saying. And Pepe is just hilarious. He steals the scene, and he's clearly a Lonely Island fan because he loves to rock the turtleneck sweater, his chains with the turtleneck sweater. And it is a good look.
It is, and he can pull it off. So, and also, I don't know if you ever had like the GameCube or ever played Muppets Party Cruise.
I did not.
Muppets Party Cruise is amazing. We still will play it all the time. And Pepe is one of the characters. There's 6 characters you can be. It's Kermit, Miss Piggy, Fozzie, Gonzo, Animal, and then it's Pepe. So Pepe wins just because that. No, Pepe is great. He is so funny. They used to do these little, like, I don't know if it was during COVID or just like once the movie did well, they started doing some little like 5-minute shorts of just them doing some things. And Pepe was always his little sections that they did were always phenomenal. So Pepe is going to beat the Swedish Chef, and I love the Swedish Chef, but Pepe is better on that. And then we got Fozzie and Rizzo. It's a double Z off. I did not even think about that until right now. So ZZ Top off? I don't know. Fozzie's great. Fozzie is like I was thinking about it. Fozzie's like the Samwise to Kermit's Frodo. Like right. Kermit always seems like he's got just the weight of the show on him. He doesn't know he can do it. And Fozzie's just always going to be the comic relief and the inspiration and the positivity like that gets Kermit keep going.
He might be the best friend that anybody could ever have.
It is so great. Fozzie is the best, and just the waka waka waka. Like that's one of the greatest. Like
he's
just
full of he's full of dad jokes.
He is full of dad jokes. He's got his hat. He's got his tie.
It's a good look.
It is a good look for Fozzie. Fozzie's going to win this. Rizzo's fine, but Rizzo's just like he made his hay during Muppets Take Manhattan, and then that was it. I mean, they just
Rizzo might be the guy I relate to the most. Kind of a smart ass.
He is, and I like Rizzo. Like Rizzo doing The Weekend was kind of great on the show here recently. So we got Pepe, Fozzie, Gonzo against Statler and Waldorf. Going up top, we have Animal Beaker, which is going to be that may be one of the greatest 4 or 5 matchups we have. And then we have Kermit, and then I sent it to Dave. I did not hear back from him early enough, so then I sent it to my wife as well. They both have responded. My wife says Rolf, 100%. Dave says Rolf, always Rolf. So it is Rolf. Get there. Like I said, I would not have minded either way. They're both great. It just rough that they got there. If it wouldn't have been Miss Piggy being so popular, I would have had one of these guys probably higher. They would have probably been a 6 seed. But you have to stay true to what it is. And Miss Piggy, I don't think could have been any lower than a 6. So we've got the Elite 8, which it's a great Elite 8. Kermit, Rolf. I think, and I always thought Kermit was always going to be a Final Four player because he's Kermit.
Kermit. He's in every sketch for the most part. He's got singing numbers, there's the backstage scenes, and again, the poor guy is in an abusive relationship. His girlfriend's super jealous. He said he can't do sketches with Florence Henderson back in the day without her getting jealous, and now Sabrina Carpenter is still getting jealous. All right?
Right, exactly. So it's gonna be Kermit. No doubt about it, overall. Animal and Beaker, I think, is the conversation that we need to have because they're both great. I'm leaning a certain way. You may be also leaning a certain way. Where are you going on this matchup?
I think I'm going to go Animal. He's the wild card. You never know what you're going to get out of him. Yeah. Beaker's a fun time. He's going to get hurt. I think in the John Denver Muppets 12 Days of Christmas song, his is the best when he's just me. Yeah. I do love Beaker. I'm going Animal. Great.
I am going to Animal too. Animal is my favorite Muppet. I'm telling you right now, it is my favorite Muppet. So he is going to win. I do love Beaker, but I think the thing with Beaker is him and Bunsen Honeydew combined are like you can't really separate them as much.
No, he needs Bunsen for it to be a funny beaker. Animal
Yes.
doesn't need anybody to be awesome.
No, Animal does not. So Animal is going to win against Beaker. I think just Animal is he is more fun. Like he brings the energy every single time, even when you don't need the energy. So final four, number 1 Kermit against number 4 Animal. Coming out here, Gonzo, Statler, and Waldorf. I think as great as Statler and Waldorf are, like Gonzo is probably the reason why the Muppet Show continues to have shows, because his crazy antics, he is so fun. I love Gonzo so much, and he may have the most unique, best look of all the Muppets.
Absolutely. What is he?
That's the other thing too. You don't know what he is. He's like the grimace of the Muppets. You don't know
And
what, and they're both purple.
He's like a an inept stuntman. He's like the Muppet version of Hot Rod.
Exactly.
I don't know if that was that's the best way to explain it. You want to see some kick-ass stunts, and then it always gets bad.
Exactly. The one stunt from the show was a little bit meh. It wasn't the normal kind of stuff like he had. The stunts that he had in the movie were great. Like the Muppets, Gonzo was phenomenal in that. Being a toilet salesman was great. Gonzo's always great because Gonzo seems like he's just going to go with the flow. Whatever you need, he's going to come help you out. It's Gonzo. As much as Statler and Waldorf are great. Like I think you could do a spinoff show or movie on either Gonzo or Statler and Waldorf, and I think it would be great. Like Statler and Waldorf sitting at the park, like people watching and just blasting them.
Yeah,
playing, that would be great. And Gonzo, a solo movie. Gonzo would be pretty
Hot
amazing. Rod. It's basically Hot Rod, and then you just throw some chickens in Hot Rod. You have the Gonzo movie. So this one's gonna be interesting. Pepe and Fozzie. I think Pepe is great. I do think Fozzie is still the better Muppet. He's part of the OG. And Fozzie is great too. I mean, he's so bad with his dad jokes, but he still keeps doing them. He's such a good friend. And it's probably my favorite song of all the Muppet songs is probably Moving Right Along. He's the one in that driving. It's Fozzie.
It is Fozzie. And he does have the longevity over Pepe, even though I won't take the longevity argument for the LeBron Michael, but I will accept it for Fozzie Pepe.
It's apples and oranges. It's different. It's different. So yeah, I figured this was going to be the final four: Gonzo, Fozzie, the 2-3, Kermit, Animal, the 1-4. So let's start the Gonzo Fozzie one first. I could go either way. I like them both. I personally, I think probably of all the Muppets, if they used to be able to do on Facebook, you take like this little test and it was like, hey, figure out which Muppet or figure out which like character from this show is going to be. I think Fozzie, I would be Fozzie if I was a character of the Muppets. I think I'd probably relate to Fozzie, and his personality and mine are exactly the same. However, I think Gonzo is the pick for me in this matchup.
Yeah, this is a tough one, especially driving in the car today. Chris Jericho's band Fozzie came on, and I was like, that's a sign. I think I got to have Fozzie going far. So I might have to have Fozzie going up, but man, I don't know. Gonzo is so much more fun. You know what? I think you might have swayed me. I think I might be going Gonzo.
Yeah. Just so you know, Christian Gonzalez is playing in the Super Bowl today too, and he's nicknamed Gonzo, so that could also be a sign.
It is a sign.
I do have a small bet on him winning the MVP, so at plus like 10,000. Because you never know. You never know. It should be a good game. You never know. Kermit, Animal. So here's the thing. I always, when we put this bracket, when we thought about, hey, we're going to do the Muppets, my thing is like Animal is probably going to be my pick all the way through. I was talking on the way home from church, driving home. We were talking about this with the kids and Sarah, and I said, I don't think Kermit's going to win. And my wife was like, "What?" I'm like, I was trying to think of the rationale of it, and this is it. Used the Family Feud. Kermit is the most famous Muppet. That doesn't mean he's the best Muppet. And I started thinking about, okay, Jerry Seinfeld is the most famous Seinfeld. Like, Kermit is the main character in the Muppets. Jerry Seinfeld is the main character in Seinfeld. He's not the best character in Seinfeld. Same with Parks and Rec. Leslie Knope is like the main character in Parks and Rec. She is not the best character in Parks and Rec. So just because you are the center, the main character of it, does not mean you are the best one. And Kermit is great. Like, Kermit is just like, he's the leader of it, but he's just kind of like, the only thing Kermit's most famous for, and it was from Sesame Street, was his Muppet News Flashes when he's wearing the trench coat. Like,
Kermit he's the voice of Patrick Mahomes.
He is.
Hi-yo.
He's the
Patrick Mahomes here.
They should have got Patrick Mahomes to do the voice of Kermit, because the new voice of Kermit is just a little off. It's not quite right.
Maybe when he retires.
Maybe. So I'm taking Animal. Animal's my favorite. I don't know if he's going to win the whole thing. I don't think he's got that, but I have him over Kermit, and that was my reasoning behind it.
Yeah, I think I do too. Any scene with Animal is going to be a fun time. Sometimes with Kermit, he's not having a good time. It's not always fun. It's not easy being green.
It is not easy being green. So we have an Animal Gonzo matchup, which this is going to be the first non-1 or 2 seed to win a bracket. And obviously it's the Muppets, because the Muppets are just insanity and chaos all the time. So I am leaning away here. What says you as the best Muppet, Animal or Gonzo?
I almost had Gonzo losing to Fozzie because I love Fozzie so much. I think I'm going Animal with this one.
Are you going Animal?
I am.
I'm going Gonzo. I'm going Gonzo over Animal, even though Animal is my favorite. If you're talking like the best Muppet, I think it's Gonzo. It's hard. I don't know, man. Animal's my favorite. He's the best. He's the best in the Muppet Babies. He is so great.
I just watched a thing on YouTube. I meant to send it to you last night. It's like the VH1 behind the music of the Electric Mayhem Band, and talking about
what is there
Animal. It's like animated mostly, but it's like Animal having to go to rehab and clean himself up, and he's all dressed in like nice clothes and speaking pretty properly while still making still kind of nonsensical. It's really funny.
Is it? You know what? Here's my dilemma. If I send this out, like, my wife is going to say Gonzo. I think if Dave is made, I don't know what Dave's going to do. I love Animal so much. Animal, like, dude, Animal's the best. I had Animals like that. Here's the thing. If I had to choose, like, to go get a character, a Funko, socks, t-shirt, it's always going to be Animal. So why am I going Gonzo? Why am I going away from who I am? It's Animal. Well, Animal is going to win the Muppets bracket.
On top of that, when I was growing up, I had the Gonzo stuffed animal that I played with a lot. But
I remember that. Yeah,
but I had the Animal one where you could move his mouth and move the eyes. I played with that thing nonstop. All right.
It's Animal. Animal's the winner of the 4 seed. I love it. It's great. This has been a quick episode, so I want to kind of touch into, because I thought, leave your comments below how that Nate and I are idiots because it's Animal. But here's the thing. I was looking through, I was like, let me see what other people think. So I was trying to find online, like, hey, who's the best Muppet? Kermit was very rarely mentioned. It was a lot of Animal. There was a lot of Gonzo. There were some Miss Piggies, but those people don't know what they're talking about. And there's some, but there was very rarely any Kermit. Gonzo had it too. I think those two are probably people's favorites, and that's what we're going for. So I was looking at if they pick this up, okay, like they're doing this. If they, let's say I was like, if they do 6 episodes of the Muppet Show, I was like, what guest would be great? You probably have not thought about this like I have after watching it, because this is how my brain works. Here's my thoughts. So if the Muppets, if it's Seth Rogen, if you're listening, watching this, anybody related with the Muppets, here's my thoughts. I think, one, you need to bring Steve Martin back, because he was one of the original, like, people that were on the original Muppet show. He might have been first season, and he may be one of the few that are still living on that. So I think you bring Steve Martin back, because obviously Steve Martin is just always great, and you can do some great stuff with him. And then I thought the perfect ending to the Steve Martin episode is him and Kermit doing a dueling banjos. And then they end with them, like they're both doing dueling banjos, and then Kermit just starts doing the beginning part of Rainbow Connection, and then Steve Martin starts doing it, and then the both of them do Rainbow Connection on the banjo to end the show. I think that would be phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
And Steve Martin's just great.
He is. I think I could see a Liam Neeson episode would be great.
Oh, Liam! I didn't think about Liam Neeson would be great, especially with him being just doing the new Naked Gun series. Liam Neeson would be great because you could do some amazing stuff.
You could do a lot. You could do
with Liam Neeson. That's a good one. I'm going to put that on there as Liam Neeson. I also like Steve Carell, and I just love the idea of a Muppets office with Steve Carell. And it would be great. Like I hadn't really thought about who would be who.
Fozzie would be Kevin.
Fozzie would be Kevin. I think Sam the Eagle could be Dwight, but it could be somebody else be Dwight. I don't know.
I don't know that. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, so it would be fun. I think that could be a fun little thing to do with Steve Carell. And Steve Carell's great too. I think and then I'm thinking like you got to have different people. So like you could do like a musical guest again, like have either Alicia Keys or Lady Gaga, and then do like a piano type thing, like have something where Dr. Teeth breaks his fingers on something, so then they got to come in and play for the Electric Mayhem Band. You always got to have some musical artist in there as well. Absolutely. So I think both of those could be great. Plus Lady Gaga could dress like a Muppet, and you would not know she dresses like a Muppet a lot. Jack Black, and you don't even have to have a script. Yeah. Just bring Jack Black in and do it, and it would be great. I think also it could be kind of cool. I was not a big Stranger Things guy, but if you bring in Millie Brown and have like a Stranger Things themed Muppets, could be pretty excellent. Yeah. With that. And then I thought it'd be fun little things like have Kermit, because it reminded me of like the Muppets, where he's trying to go back and get people to come do the show, and like he couldn't on his Rolodex. So him trying to get old guests in, and like Steve Martin was really the only one he could get. You get Bill Hader to come in, and then Bill Hader's like, oh, I can just do all these voices. We could just, and then he could come in and like one scene be like Vincent Price, one scene be like John Malkovich, and have Bill Hader just do like all these different. Just be Bill Hader and do different impersonations of people that they could have gotten in the show. You could do that with Kristen Wiig too. It'd be great. I would love that. I think too, if you're coming back on a shorter scale, like an hour show could be kind of great.
And another musical person to be on there. You could get some Dave Grohl on there.
Oh, Dave Grohl would be great because he was in the Muppets. He was part of the Muppets. Which that song, I'm probably one of the few people. I love the Muppets song that they're singing
right.
for the casino. It is so great. Like free parking for cars, not RVs. It's like and Dave Grohl is just into that character. It is so great. I love it. So I hope it comes back because again, we own all the Muppets on DVD. It's great. Going back and watching some of those a while back, they held up, and I thought it was great. I think if they stay true to the original how it worked, it'd be great, and bringing back some of the old sketches, and then obviously have new sketches because it's been forever. So right. I'm excited. Anytime the Muppets are a thing, I am excited on that. So Animal is the winner. He will be going to the
Bracket of Champions.
Bracket of Champions, which is just a few weeks away. We're only 5 weeks from Selection Sunday. So for those of you, I think going out, Reimer's going to be up for whatever. I told him like, hey, we get him back closer to Selection Sunday. I know on Selection Sunday, he does stuff for 97.1 The Fan. You can go check him out on Instagram too, Rhyme Time. He's a great follow. He does. He knows his stuff. He knows ball. So, but I think going forward here, because the main part of March Chadness is the brackets, and I think we're going to try to get you ready for the brackets. by trying to bring some data to the show. We're not going to really talk much about, we'll still talk about some of the games that happened the previous week, but we'll start diving into, okay, let's look at the 5-12 seeds. Who's won? What's the makeup of those teams? So that way, when the brackets come, we can start kind of maybe eyeing teams that we could get as Cinderellas in that. And we can just we're going to go through that and leading up to the brackets. We'll start really looking at past brackets, history, trends. What are you looking for upsets? What are you looking for teams to make the Final Four? That kind of stuff. So I think that's what we're going to do heading forward. So Nate and I will have a little bit more homework than we have been. But I think leading up, we got 5 weeks left. I think we got to do that homework prior. So then once the brackets come out, you only have that short amount of time to really come up with the bracket. And you get so much information from so many people, so many quote unquote experts, those types of things. So I think that's what we'll do looking at that. So I'll send you that.
Yeah, we will bring you that data, and then we will try to bring you data from the Goonies.
Data from the Goonies or from Star Trek. But
there you go.
There you go. That was the show. Go check out fanstreamsports.com. This show, all other shows, we are coming out of Fanstream Sports Ohio. Check out my betting shows. Any sports content you need, we have it here. We have so many shows. Come check it out. We have written content on the website. Check me out on X at Chad Ocho Rinko. Check him out on the X at Nate Lifters 23. Next week, tentatively, I believe we're going to do the best worst of something.
Oh.
So, yeah. So sometimes not just the best of something, it's the best worst. Nate,
I know where you're going with this one. I'm excited about this.
Nate came up with this. He's going to be probably driving this one because he knows it more than me, but I don't want to spoil it. Check out next week's episode. But thanks for tuning in. And who do you got for the Super Bowl? Let's throw it in there.
I think the Seahawks. I think their offense is better than the Patriots' offense. I would lean Seahawks, but I could see this just being a low-scoring defensive game, and just whoever gets a defensive score, might win this. I would lean Seahawks because their offense is scarier than the Patriots, and their defense is really solid. And their defense is called the dark side. So, I mean, how do you not love that?
Exactly. I'm with you.
And I want Sam Darnold to get this, man.
That would be great. Sam Darnold to get it. For my buddy Dave, he's a Seahawks fan. I know he's been there. He's seen them win already. But I think Seahawks win. I just think they're better in every position except maybe quarterback, but there's not a big difference between that. I think it's going to be a Kenneth Walker game. I think he's going to win MVP. I have the Seahawks 27-20. And I think it's going to be a good game, but I just think Seattle is better on everything on paper. So, hey, enjoy the game,
I might
Nate.
have those numbers on my squares, so I think I'd be fine.
Nice. There you go. Enjoy the game. I know you got to go coach. I got to go do some stuff, getting ready for one or more people coming over. I don't know who else Noah's got coming over. But, again, thanks for watching. We will see you next time on March Chadness.